Every day, about 800 million vehicles gulp down 1,800,000,000 gallons of fuel. Keeping gas stations around the world filled with that flammable liquid is an incredibly complex and potentially dangerous job. Have you ever wondered how gasoline is made? We visited the oil industry in the United States in Texas to find out. This is one of the most powerful places in the world. In Texas lies the U.S. oil industry. Drilling has been taking place here since 1894, but it wasn't until 1901 that the oil industry took off when the extraction company tripled U.S. oil production at once. Since then, nearly 60 billion barrels of oil have been extracted from Texan soil. And if oil companies have calculated correctly, there's a reserve of about 10 billion barrels that haven't been extracted yet. Oil is not only the primary fuel for cars, but it also provides us with 50% of the energy we need. Petrochemical derivatives are also essential for most everyday products, such as plastics, asphalt, tires, as well as cosmetics and pharmaceuticals. The sticky, smelly, and black liquid they're searching for is crude oil, which is the raw material for making gasoline. Oil is found deep in the earth. Tens of millions of years ago, plants and tiny sea creatures died, fell into seabeds, and were covered with sediment. For centuries, the massive organic material underwent a chemical transformation thanks to heat and pressure. 250 million years later, they have become one of the world's most important sources of energy. Black gold smells like rotten eggs, but it also smells like money, lots of money. On this hot and humid morning, the team is starting their work, which involves drilling a new well every month. More than 2,000 new wells are dug in Texas, extracting over 900,000 barrels of crude oil per day. To keep the crude oil flowing, producers like Occidental Petroleum average one new well per day. For workers, this hard and noisy work in the sun is just another day at the office. For others, after identifying potential oil and natural gas deposits underground using seismic technology, the drilling location is selected. Although this technology helps, oil exploration remains a gamble. If the well is productive, crude oil goes to the refinery, where it's modified to make gasoline, diesel, aviation fuel, and other products. But finding and extracting oil from the subsurface is only half the challenge. You also have to get to the oil. In this area known as the thermal basin, crude oil is located up to 13,000 feet deep, trapped within rocks that are 542 million years old. To reach the oil, they use huge engines to drive a large diamond-tipped drill bit into the ground. But friction generates a lot of heat, so constantly pumping pressurized water into the hole is required to cool the cutting head. Then the water carries the debris to the surface in the form of mud. It's noisy and very dangerous work. They have to get the drill pressure right. If it's too low, it won't cut. If it's too high, it will break. There are risks of gas emissions that could cause catastrophic explosions. While drilling, the team has to constantly add pieces of drilling pipe using a 5-ton automatic double wrench. As the drill makes its way at a rate of 16 feet per hour, this arduous task must be repeated every couple of hours, 24 hours a day. If they're lucky, they'll hit oil. Initially, the pressure of trapped oil causes it to pass through small holes into the pipe and rise to the surface. But this natural pressure doesn't last forever, so to keep the oil flowing, a deep well plunger pump is used. The circular motion of the flywheel is converted into vertical motion, and, like a huge metal syringe, it draws oil to the surface. The fluid from each well exits through a pipe, and the pipes from all the wells feed into a main line leading to a gas removal vessel. The fluid contains carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, and natural gas, which need to be extracted. These pumps are used to collect Texas's black gold. But these oil fields are far from where the oil is needed, so a series of pumps feed it into a pipeline for a journey of 621 miles to its destination. This is the largest oil refinery in the United States, with over 5,000 miles of metal pipes covering 2,400 acres. This plant can refine over 562,000 barrels of crude oil per day. The noise is so deafening that the plant's 4,000 workers use over 1 million ear protectors a year. This place is so big that it's not just about Texas oil here. It's also dedicated to refining oil from around the world. Crude oil contains a mixture of hydrocarbons, each with a different number of carbon atoms. These hydrocarbons have different weights. Propane is the lightest, while the heaviest is used to make asphalt. The team removes and treats hydrogen sulfide, turning it into sulfur that a local farm buys to use as fertilizer. After heating the crude oil to over 700 degrees Fahrenheit, it's pumped into the tower base and steam rises, like boiling water. When it cools, the molecules condense. First, the heaviest asphalt settle at the bottom. The lighter molecules, gasoline and kerosene, continue to rise until they condense and can be extracted by a siphon. Out of every 191 barrels of crude oil, 23 gallons of gasoline, 13 gallons of diesel, about 7 gallons of kerosene, nearly 2 gallons of propane, and 8 gallons of other products, such as lubricants and plastics, are extracted. This plant produces enough gasoline for a car to make 770 round trips to the moon. The fuel is tested in an old engine to check its detonation capacity. Detonation inside an engine occurs when the fuel ignites spontaneously when compressed in the engine cylinder. Then, the lab can return the data to the refinery to correct any errors in the mixture and ensure it's perfect. The time comes to open some valves for the gasoline to flow through underground pipes to nearby terminals. From here, it goes to huge tanker trucks. But filling a tanker truck is more dangerous than filling a car's gas tank. A failure to load or unload the truck could result in a serious explosion. The metal body can generate sparks due to static electricity, so the first thing is to lay a cable as a ground and activate sensors for protection against possible overfilling. A second pipe, known as a vapor recovery pipe, absorbs the emanated vapors to prevent them from dispersing into the atmosphere. About 1 million gallons of gasoline are transported to gas stations every day. After pouring the gasoline into the huge tanks, it's ready for consumption. If you enjoyed the video, you can watch similar videos clicking them on screen. Also, subscribe to this channel by enabling notifications to keep learning.